Hello, everyone. JDev, creator of the JDev Entertainment Network, has returned once again to give you precisely what you want. Of course, be more of me, because somehow, someway, I'm still very much in high demand, and I plan on keeping it that way. Plus, realistically, I'm all that you're going to need, especially with everything that's going on in the world today. Giving all of you my final UFC 251 post fight thoughts as the card is over with and the results are in, obviously. Before I do that, it's very important if you haven't watched UFC 251 yet and actually plan on watching it and being surprised, which, I mean, if that's how you, if you're able to do that, fine. Stop watching this video to avoid any forthcoming spoilers. And then for the rest of you, if you're a fan of the UFC and you love fighting in general, go ahead and smash that like button. If you know anybody else that would be interested in hearing my post-fight thoughts, as well as any other UFC videos or anything like that, go ahead and share the video with them, and then let them know to share it with other people that they know that would benefit from seeing my video. Don't forget to comment in the comment section about your thoughts regarding the card, your predictions for future fights, your Mount Rushmore of UFC from when you became a fighter or from when you became a fan of watching fights. With me, it was about 2011, so I was kind of late to the fight game. So if you watch my Mount Rushmore of UFC video, I didn't put Anderson Silva and GSP in because I've only seen the latter stages of their career, and other people I think had a more dominant career, at least from when I became a fan. And last but certainly not least, go ahead and hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your support, and be a part of something special. So UFC 251 is in the books. It was, billed as a really stacked card. I wasn't overly impressed with this card. Once it ended, it was kind of boring at times. But here's kind of a rundown of what happened on the main card. I didn't watch any of the prelims or anything like that. So you had Amanda Ribas submit Paige Van Zant in the first round. It's kind of how I thought it would go. Paige would get beat. And it's her last fight under contract. So I don't know what's next for Paige, but I'm sure it's more cameo stuff. Maybe a stint in Bellator or possibly the WWE. I think she should try one of those things because fighting, while she does beat people, it's usually people that don't really belong in the UFC, whereas the people that stay in the UFC, she gets beat by. So hopefully Paige Van Zant finds a future somewhere if her future is elsewhere, which I'm thinking it will be. And I wish her the best of luck in her success. Good hats off to, or props to Amanda Ribas. She might be a player in this division. We'll see. But she won by an armbar in the first round. Next, in the bantamweight division, we had Jessica Andrade versus Rosa Namajunas. Thug Rosa. Namajunas won. It was a close fight. I thought Namajunas won, but I thought they could potentially give it to Andrade because she had some moments in the fight where she did good. But Namajunas looked really good in the fight, and I'm glad that she won. She should certainly get a title shot against Zhang Weili, I think. I mean, who else would be next unless they have another rematch between Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Zhang Weili? But I don't know. Have they both healed up from that fight in March? I don't even know. Was that March 7th? But Rose won in a, was it a split decision? I think it was a split decision, surprisingly. We also had the bantamweight men's belt on the line as there was a vacant champion. Henry Cejudo got stripped. So we had Jose Aldo versus Piotr Jan. I think that's how you say it. Piotr, what? I don't know what it is. But Jan won. I mean, Jose Aldo, he actually looked really good in this fight. I've been giving Aldo some crap lately, but he looked really good, but he's simply just overmatched. He's an old guy in a young man's sport, and Jan was really taking it to him. He hurt him early in the fight, too, and I thought it might have been over then, but then he got him in the 5th round, I think it was, and he was just laying shots on him left and right. But the thing is, he'd stop and kind of regroup for a second, and then, the ref wouldn't stop it, and finally, the referee stopped it. I mean, if I'm an official in that fight, I'm telling, Jose Aldo, you got to do something. If you just cover up and, squirm around, you have to do more to defend yourself than that. Otherwise, I'm going to stop the fight. So that fight, in my opinion, was stopped way late. And I think the ref was, what's that guy's name? I can't remember his name. I don't see him much officiate, but he was last night. So props to Piotr Jan, if that's what his name is. He did good. He looked good, and I would suspect a fight with Aljamain Sterling will most likely be next for him, and that should be quite entertaining. We also had the featherweight championship on the line as the defending champion Alexander Volkanovski fought the former champion Max Holloway in their second fight. Both of them have fought each other 2 times in a row now. They haven't fought since their first encounter. Volkanovski ends up winning the decision against Max Holloway, and I think the judges got that one very wrong. From what I saw, Max Holloway won that fight. Now, I haven't went back and watched the fight over again, but I was pretty certain Max Holloway won that fight. He looked really good, and they got to do something about these judges. I mean, I'm gonna say this: John Jones versus Dominic Reyes. I mean, if you have to win 3 rounds to win the fight, Dominic Reyes beat John Jones. Dominic Reyes should have been the light heavyweight champion of the world. As much as I like John Jones, and John Jones didn't look bad in that fight. He just kind of came on late. If the fight would have went, 7 rounds, John Jones would have probably won the final 4 rounds. But it is what it is. But I thought Max Holloway won the first 2 rounds, I think, and maybe the 3rd round could have went either way, or maybe it was the 4th round that could have went either way. And then he did a couple takedowns to win the 5th round, and it just, I don't know. I thought Max Holloway won. He dropped him twice. I mean, he got right back up one time, and I don't remember if he got right back up the second time, but it is what it is. The judges make bad decisions. I think they should have more judges at UFC fights to maybe give a better decision to people that actually won the fight versus the guy that didn't win the fight. So I think there should be another fight between them two. Maybe not this year, maybe have it like next year or the year after, but I think they should fight again, even though Volkanovski has won the first 2 fights, which I think Volkanovski won that first fight. I predicted him to win the first fight, actually. But the second fight, I wanted to go with Max Holloway because I think he was going to win, and I thought he did. So it is what it is, but Volkanovski's still the featherweight champion of the world. And then for the welterweight championship of the world, you had Jorge Masvidal versus Kamaru Usman. This fight kind of went how I expected it to. I thought Usman was going to dominate. Masvidal, I think, he used a lot of energy and he looked very tired. Now, I don't know if conditioning was a factor because he had been training off and on, but he had really good takedown defense. Like when he'd get taken down, he would get back up, and there was really no damage done, or not a lot of damage done when he was on the ground. But it is what it is. Usman won. He won a lot of rounds 10-8. There was a lot of clinch work, up against the cage with foot stomps and shoulder strikes where he jump up and hit him with the point of his shoulder. So, I mean, that match or that fight didn't really live up to any expectations. It was pretty boring, unlike the Colby Covington-Kamaru Usman fight that was just crazy. So, in my opinion, Dana White's saying Gilbert Burns is next against Kamaru Usman. I think Colby Covington should be fighting Usman next. That's just what I think. Gilbert Burns, I mean, he beat Tyron Woodley, but Tyron Woodley has looked awful in 2 fights in a row now, so it is what it is. So, hope you guys enjoyed the card. It wasn't as great. Next, we look forward to the next big event would be August 15th. Daniel DC Cormier versus Stipe Miocic 3. Looking forward to that one. I think DC's going to win. I'll give my official predictions later on. And then the co-main event is Junior Dos Santos versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik, which I like Rozenstruik. I also like JDS, though, too, so it'll be interesting. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to comment with your thoughts, smash the like button, hit that sub button, and of course, you know that JDev will return.